'Cause I'd still pick you in the checkout line when the coupons fail and the card declines, when the kids are screaming and the car won't steer, and I'm one small inconvenience from a breakdown in here. Yeah, I'd still pick you. You're my steady north, my Jedi in my court.
Hey everybody, welcome to This is Life with Tim and Jenna. We are so excited that you guys are with us this week. If you haven't watched last week's episode, jump on it. Jenna was out sick and so she's back with us today, but I took the opportunity to kind of just do an interview with our oldest, Mercy, kind of about her thoughts around marriage. And we had so much fun that we decided to jump into that with all of our kids. And today we have our middle kid, Raiden, with us. And so do you have anything you want to add before we get started?
Yeah, I think it's important to know that we have not practiced these questions. These are unfiltered, unpracticed answers. And so we're excited to hear what Raiden has to say today.
Yes, and our children often do not sugarcoat or change their responses based on who's in front of them, whether it be us or the camera or anybody else. So we're excited to hear what they say as we get into this question. So first question up, Ray, what's it been like growing up around Mom and I talking about marriage a lot more, especially in the last couple of years, but we kind of have really talked about marriage for a long time.
Honestly, I think I've enjoyed the fact that you guys know so much because, it helps me know what's in my future, I guess. It helps me kind of prepare for what I need to do and how I need to act once I get there. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
What's one thing you've heard us say repeatedly that has stuck with you?
Repeatedly? I don't know how much I'll say this, but I think it just really stuck to me. I know y'all told me that I can't get tattoos until I'm married. And that I don't know why, but it just stuck with me because it could mean so much to the person you're married to based on what you have tattooed. And I don't think you like my answer very much.
No, I love your
that's not
answer.
it.
It's perfect.
I think we're going to have to clarify really what was said in that conversation. We didn't tell you, number one, you can't get tattooed until you're 18 without parental consent.
I don't think
That's the law. But really what we said was we recommended that they not get tattooed until, if they want to, until they are married so that their spouse can have some say in that.
Yeah.
Because the Bible talks about, your body belongs to your spouse. And so we heavily believe in that. Neither Jenna or I got tattooed. And so we got married. And you might have different opinions on tattoos.
Yeah.
Our tattoos are specific and meaningful. We haven't gotten any just random tattoos. Not that we have plenty of friends that just love tattoos. And
A lot of people have different ideas.
things. Yeah. So, but our main point was is your body belongs to your spouse. And so wait until you get married and have that conversation with your spouse.
Yeah.
And go from
Yeah.
there.
I love that stuck with you. That was something that was meaningful. Yeah. Okay. When you hear the word marriage, okay, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Probably partnership. Just having someone there that you're always with until, you're not.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, partnership. I love it.
What does partnership mean to you, though?
Partnership is, it's just kind of something that you're with somebody else and they can help you through, hard times, things that you need. And just to be there for you, emotionally, spiritually, just like that.
All right. So this question is going to have two parts. Number one, what do you think scares your generation? So not just you, but your entire generation about marriage. What scares them about marriage?
Okay, I would probably say that my generation is just really scared of commitment and just being taken away from opportunities they could have if they don't get married. Because nowadays it's just you want to do whatever you want and you want to have the freedom to just say what you want to say and go out there into the world and just do what you want pretty much. And when you're married, I mean, some people still do. I don't think that's great. But when you're married, that limits that. And I think it's a good limitation because, it sets realistic goals for your life.
Okay. So you think your generation's worried that if they get married, that's somehow going to limit their life? Yeah. Huh? So what is your biggest scare about getting married? Not that you're getting married anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't think we've told everybody. You're 13. You'll be 14 in a few months.
Freshman
Yeah.
moving up to high school.
Yeah, he'll be a freshman. So exciting.
Okay. So what scares you the most about marriage?
Probably just like having someone else that you have to like coexist with and not like bash heads a bunch. It's like being able to, have peace in that life. That's kind of like, cause I'm personally, I like my ideals and like what I think what should happen, like everybody. So I think that's just like a big thing for me.
How often do you see Mom and I bash heads?
I mean, every once in a while, especially if this doesn't happen, the coffee.
If coffee doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
that's a big problem.
That happens with a lot of people in our family.
Yeah.
Rayden's not really a coffee drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker at all. I hate the taste of coffee, but pretty much everybody else is. Adley and Noble haven't gotten there yet. I foresee Adley being a coffee person. Noble, I don't know. We'll have to see. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, Rayden's kind of like me. He hates the taste of coffee, so we're not coffee. All right. Do you think social media has changed expectations about love and relationship?
Yes, I 100% think it has, I'm not speaking against anybody, but I do think a lot more people are posting about how like your relationship status has to be about one person and it's not like a partnership as much as just like, kind of you want to marry just because and like because to me, marriage is you're going into something with someone and you're becoming one person in everything you do, and that's what should show in your marriage. But now it's, you just kind of get married when you feel like it, and if you don't feel like it anymore, then you stop. And that's the big thing is it's become a feeling thing instead of a commitment thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's a powerful statement. It's become a feeling thing instead of a commitment thing. And you're right. The culture, and especially the generation coming up underneath us, is more and more emotions based. What I feel is true, and you're right. And sometimes you have to stick it out anyway. What do you think causes people your age to give up so quickly in relationships?
Honestly, again, I think social media plays a huge part, especially nowadays in teen relationships, because again, it's just I want to do what I feel is right. And another big thing is I personally think dating shouldn't be something you just kind of throw around when you like want to do it. It should be to prepare for like a bigger like step up in relationship. And I think that's when you should ask all the hard questions. And I think that's why the divorce rate is so high, because people get married without really understanding what marriage is and how much it really impacts you, and if that's really the right person for you to marry. And I think you need to decide that while dating, and that's why you need to ask the hard questions, have the hard conversations when you're dating and not when you're married.
So how has that affected you as an eighth grader? And from my understanding, as an eighth grader, you've had different girls interested in you. How has that mindset affected how you've approached those situations?
Are you asking me like
Your mindset on dating.
my mindset of dating? So my personal opinion,
Yes.
I think it's helped me a lot in in seeing like, oh, like I might not be ready for this, or like this might not be something I want to do right now, just because now I'm a freshman, but I'm still only 13.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a great time for me to just like, put myself out there, because, I'm in sports, I'm in band, academics are really important to me. So I think that's really what has affected it.
Okay. So this next set of questions really kind of brings in that faith conversation into marriage and your approach. So, what kind of marriage reflects Christ best to you?
To me, I think just a strong family with. I think people should have children. I think that is a big thing that God has asked us to do, is to have children and put the word into them. And I'm not saying like you need to control their spiritual life, because I think, and you guys have done that with me and Kellen and letting us kind of explore church wise. But I think you need to just give them a strong foundation in Christ, and tell them like what the Lord is, and then let them kind of take it to their interpretation of like the little things, and let them just like kind of push them into the the gospel. And I think that shows so much in family, especially when you had children, because if your family's based around God, then everything goes like it's so much more freeing for the family. Because I think that the pyramid of power, I'd like to call it that, it should be God is first in the family, no matter what, in the marriage to the children, God should be above everything. And then it should go the father, the mother, and then the children, and then any other relatives to the family. I think that is a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's great. And when you say it brings more freedom when you have a family that's living for Christ, does that mean that it frees you from like strife, or like what do you see as? Because I agree, and I think that when we live within the boundaries of Scripture and what God has provided for us, there's so much more liberty than people realize. And so, what do you see as us as a family, how we've been able to live more free and be more liberated because we've submitted to Christ as a family?
I've seen in family of my friends, just like families I've seen, because a lot of people think that if you're not a Christian, you have so much more like free will, and it will just like go so much better because you're not limiting yourself at all. And the problem with that is in families is you go out and you kind of just have no rule mindset, and I think that tears apart like families, like in terms of divorcing and children just going out into the world like without any experience or knowledge or wisdom, and they crash. So
Yeah. Wow. So
So-
you're able to stand on your 2 feet.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay. So, why do you think some young men are hesitant or resistant toward biblical marriage?
Biblical marriage. Um, you know, we're born in a sinful nature that makes us want as much as we can have, and biblical marriage, it puts a set limit on how far you can go. And a lot of people, especially young men, think that that limit's just useless, and it shouldn't happen because they want to do whatever they want. And I really just don't think that's a good way of looking at it. Because to me, it's like, here, I'll use this analogy that I heard a while back. I really liked it, and it's just kind of stuck in my brain. It was originally used to kind of describe the Garden of Eden and the fall of Adam and Eve. But I personally think it kind of connects here. So God has given us a pantry of just like amazing, like all of our favorite foods. But he told us not to drink the bleach under the sink. And I think because nowadays everybody just wants to do what they want, and they want to go drink the bleach, even though it's not good for them, and it'll kill you. And God has told us that will destroy us, but people just still go to it and doing whatever they want.
Okay.
Wow, that's a great analogy. Yeah. Okay.
So, what would you say to guys your age who think marriage limits freedom? What would you say to them?
I would tell them, honestly, read the Bible. Just even if you're not a believer, like I think if you don't believe, even if you don't believe in Christ as your Savior, which you should, but even if you don't believe, I think if you could still go to the Bible and just seek marriage. I guess, information on how to do, like, how to go about marriage, and it's just really good for you, and it's just like the perfect example of what marriage should be.
Okay. Why do you think somebody who doesn't have a relationship with the Lord would want to go to the Bible?
Would want to go to the
Or
Bible?
why should they go to the Bible?
Why should they go to the Bible? I'm a little biased as a Christian. I know that, but if you look at, let's say, Mormons, most of those families just don't do great, especially with the children, because just the internal turmoil of the family just never works out well. And I just think that people's mindset, like when you ask someone like what a perfect family would look like, it would just be a family that is, well binded together, doesn't like argue in everything, aren't bashing heads all that much. And if you go to the Bible, it will tell you how to make your family look like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how growing up in our family, right? How has watching me and Daddy, our marriage, how has that kind of shaped your expectations of what marriage should or could be?
I think it showed me that, marriage is a thing where you have to agree with each other and you have to coexist. You can't just, go out and do whatever you want.
Okay.
And I know it kind of sounds like I'm repeating myself a lot, but when you just have that do whatever you want mindset, it really just tears everything apart.
Okay. So what are some things that parents do to influence, like what do parents do to influence what the future of relationships are for their children? Like what are some ways that we can either make or break that for you?
Are you talking about you guys or parents in general?
In general.
In general?
Yeah.
I would think it has a huge impact on what the children's future families look like because, for example, if either parent is abusive at all to the children, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished. I really personally don't agree with the whole gentle parenting because, kids need to be told, they need to be set on what's right and what's wrong. And if you just kind of don't tell them that, it just doesn't really set them up well. But, if you take it too far and either parent is abusive, it can really destroy that child's mindset, especially going to future marriage. That's just all they've really known for marriage. And I know some people will take that information of an abusive parent and they'll make sure and that's actually what caused a bunch of gentle parenting because everybody was so afraid that it would just keep repeating itself. But I think even if you have an abusive parent, I personally think you should seek out therapy. It's just a really good way to kind of limit fix your expectations of what a human really should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really quick, what are some maybe bad things that you've seen from other marriages that you've seen that aren't centered around faith, or just marriages and culture, or just how culture is represented in marriage? What are some things that you've seen that are bad that you don't want to bring into your marriage?
I have friends that I would say alcohol destroys families in terms because when you don't have control of your mind really, you can't control what the outcome is. So I think that excessive alcohol use is insanely dangerous for any family, and especially for the children, because again, they go into the world with that mindset of, oh, I can drink because my parents did that. So
This next group of questions are really centered on what you want,
what I want,
and don't want in your marriage. So what kind of marriage do you hope to have someday?
marriage I hope to have.
Like, what do you want it to look like?
Wow, it's a little late. Okay. I obviously I want to have a wife and I want to have kids. I personally want to do everything in my power to have a pair of twin boys. My wife might want that. I don't know if this is really what the question is asking.
Really specific.
I've any pair of twin boys I've seen have just really done well because they have each other to depend on.
Yeah.
And help each other through everything. So I think that's really what I want in terms of structure in the family. So yeah.
Okay, that's what you want. Well, okay, when you're looking at marriage, obviously you've got some time before you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But what would you say would come with someone who's worth getting married to? Like, what is it about her that would, for you, would say, yeah, this is worth it?
Are you asking me what's it called? Traits I would want in my wife?
Or characteristics, or it can even be background,
Background.
like what, anything.
I personally think background definitely has importance, but I really don't think that should shape a person to whether or not you marry them, unless if they really, are traumatized by it. But I still think you should at least help them, even if you don't marry them, like help them find peace in their life. But I think great traits in a wife are just like someone that will put the children and God above myself. I don't want to be the head of power in my household. I want God and Jesus to be above me on the power structure.
Okay, so you want someone who recognizes that she is not in control of the home, you're not in control of the home, but God himself is able and can be trusted to run your home accordingly, right? That's amazing. Yeah. And that's something that you have to talk about ahead of time, because it's not, I would say it's not a common
No.
belief system anymore, right?
So what is something you want women, young ladies your age, to know about men your age?
About men my age? We definitely have expectations. Every man has the expectation, especially if they're not faith-based. They want their wives to kind of I don't say obey because that feels really domineering. But they want someone that will actually listen to them. Because nowadays it's like, oh, you listen to your wife and you really have to listen to her, but no one really talks about how much it's becoming a thing that the wife won't listen to the husband anymore. And he really, because when I said earlier that I don't want to be the head power in my household, I still want, I think that the father should still definitely have a say in really anything that the family, especially major decisions. I really don't think the father should be pushed aside. And young men nowadays really just are afraid that when they get married, any saying in their life will just be kind of stripped away from them. And I think that's really what's ruining marriage expectations for young men.
Yeah. So it's like fear that you won't be able to have an identity in Christ, or an identity as a lead, or someone in your home that has the ability to lead your family.
Yeah, maybe that's a better way to say it instead of obey.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of a different word. Yeah.
But we talked with you guys about you have to be a man that's worthy of being followed, right? It's not just, get in line. It's am I as a man leading my family well, which comes from following Jesus, right? You can lead because you are led. So.
Yeah, and that is something that we've talked about a lot. I think since you were little, something we've really cared about. What do you think people your age are really searching for underneath all of the dating confusion, I guess? What is that underlying thing?
I think social media has absolutely destroyed dating expectations and what dating is, because I think, and I've seen this in my own friends and just people I know well, that dating has become this thing that you just kind of go out and you try and you just hop. Especially, this is a big thing that's happening, is you just date someone just for the love of the game, and then as soon as you break up with them, you just jump to the next dating, because I think nowadays it's become so much of more of a status thing, and everybody just wants to be in a relationship that it's lost any kind of meaning.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Why have you chosen not to date at this point? And not that you won't ever, but for right now, you've had opportunities, from my understanding, and chosen not to go down that road.
I think I've chosen not to go down it because I think I think my main point where I'm like, okay, I'm like ready is if I have at least a decent job and then my own car. I think it's like this isn't really gonna be anywhere like related to anything we've said on the podcast so far. But I think it's just so weird that kids will willingly go on a like drive to a date with their mom in the front seat. I personally think that's a little weird, and I don't really want that.
You don't think once you have a job in a car that we're not going to tag along with you?
I mean,
We're totally gonna be in the car.
I think you
I know.
misunderstand this whole dating practice.
Oh my.
I'm not saying I plan on just like going whenever or wherever I want.
Go
Yeah,
For sure.
probably will
Sit behind you in the movie
in the movie theater.
You're like, hey, what'd you think of that?
A great scene. I just personally think, you know, if you have to have your mom drive you to date, I personally don't think you're really in a position to be dating.
Okay.
So I think that's just a great, you know, and just because you can drive, if you can drive legally, that doesn't mean you should still do it. So
Okay.
So there's like a level of maturity
Yeah,
and
I think-
experience that you feel like needs to come with it.
That literally came from this reel that we watched the other day talking about eating kiwi with the skin on. There are things that you could do, doesn't mean you should do them.
So what do you think makes marriage last?
last. I think especially putting the children first in the marriage, and I think once you have children and if you put them above the relationship, I think it really, you know, helps people understand that this isn't just like some random thing we're doing. You know, you have a purpose, you're raising the children. And I think if you again put God first and if you really just focus on the children, then I think it will definitely help in prolonging your marriage.
Yeah. Well, Raiden, thank you so much for sitting with us and answering our questions. It's been a lot of fun. So if you missed last week's episode where we interviewed Mercy, jump on, watch that, and then stay tuned because we'll be asking our other kids, and we've got even some younger ones. It's gonna be interesting to see Noble's
Yeah,
response
See
to
what their
some
responses
questions
are.
or whatever. But again, if you are not subscribed to us, subscribe, follow us on social media. We're gonna be kicking up more stuff there. As always, we've enjoyed being here with you, and we will see you next time.
Cause I'd still pick you in the checkout line when the coupons fail and the card declines, when the kids are screaming and the car won't steer, and I'm one small inconvenience from a breakdown in here. Yeah, I'd still pick you. You're my steady north, my Jedi in my